Hi, in this short video I'm going to show you probably the most important thing that I can show anybody who is using Microsoft Word. Um, when people are using Microsoft Word, the vast majority of people, they use it very, very badly. Let me just show you what you shouldn't be doing, but yet what most people do. So most people, when they're faced with formatting a headline, will highlight the word that they wish to format. We'll then go up to the font group and we'll perhaps make it larger, perhaps make it bold, perhaps change the font. And the bad news is, this really isn't how you should be doing it. Manually formatting things is just opening up a world of hate for yourselves when you are writing a complex document like a thesis. The chances that you are, over the period of 3 years, going to successfully choose the correct font every time, the correct font size every time, the correct formatting of that text, the correct line spacing, all of that stuff, chances are you're just not going to get it right every single time over the course of the writing of a thesis or a dissertation. It's also really, really hard work. It doesn't seem that much for doing this one title, but think about how many major headings, how many titles, think how many you're going to format over the course of writing this complete thesis. That is minutes, probably longer, of work that you're just going to be doing clicking of controls to produce a result which at best is probably not going to be that consistent. That means lots of proofreading for you later on, lots of time wasted. So what I want to do is show you just a much, much better way of doing this. Now, to begin with, I've got some text in this document. It's already inside one of our templates. Therefore, the template is set up correctly for me, the margins, the page numbering, etc. We covered that in a different video. What I want to show you is just how easy it is to use styles to format your text. So having a look here, this is a document which is already typed. I haven't done any formatting yet. Let me just show you how I deal with the chapter title. I click so that my selection is somewhere at all inside that paragraph. What I do now is I head up to my styles gallery. The styles gallery you'll find in the home ribbon. It takes up just about half of the home ribbon, which is a massive hint from Microsoft that this is important and this is something you should be using. And all I'm going to do here to format that chapter heading is I'm going to apply the heading 1 style. As I hover my mouse over it, you'll see that it already shows you a preview of how that's going to look. And a single click there, that's all that's needed, and that chapter title is not only has the chapter been formatted correctly, but you can see as well that it's also been numbered automatically. Let me just use my down arrow on my keyboard here, down to the human events. Now, the human events is going to be a major heading within this chapter, and for that, I'm going to apply the heading 2 style. So I head up here, I click heading 2, and as I said, not only is it formatted beautifully, but it's also been numbered correctly. Now I'm going to hold my control key down on my keyboard. I'm going to use my down arrow once to go down to the next paragraph, second time to go down to the next paragraph again. So holding that control key down with your arrow key just makes it faster to move through the paragraphs of the document. The next major heading here is called Truths. I'm just going to apply heading 2, and boom, look at that, beautifully formatted yet again. And most importantly, not only was that just one click to format that, but if you look at the formatting of this title here and the formatting of this title here, you will see they are both exactly the same. Using styles automatically gives you consistently formatted documents. And that's what's beautiful about using them. It really is amazing. Now I'm going to use that control and down arrow a couple more times. Down to safety, I'm going to apply heading 2. Yet again, beautifully formatted, one single click, and there we go. Down again to colonies. Now for this one here, I'm going to do it slightly differently again. Rather than waste time grabbing my mouse, finding the mouse pointer on the page, heading up to the styles gallery, what I'm going to do is apply a keyboard shortcut this time. And the keyboard shortcut we're going to use is Control, Alt, and the number 1 on the keyboard, but that number 1 is the one which is just above the Q key on my keyboard. It is not the number pad to the right hand side. So Control Alt and number 1. Oh, sorry, my mistake. Control Alt number 2 gives me that heading. Now, not only did it give me that heading, but did you notice, and I'll use my Control Z just to go back here, that colonies heading was at the bottom of the page. The content which belonged to it was on the next page. But the moment I apply that style, let me do it properly this time, Control Alt and number 2, look, not only did it format it properly, but it also moved the heading onto the next page, which is super clever as well. And that's something else which is built into those styles. Now, there's a lot more to styles than just that, but that's what I'm going to show you just now. Well, maybe with one little change. Have a look on the left-hand side of my screen. This is my navigation pane, and that navigation pane has started to fill up as I have been putting those headings into their correct styles. And if I want to move around my document, not a big deal in this document, but when you're working with a full thesis, this is incredible. All I do is click on the heading in the navigation pane, and it takes me straight there. Not only that, watch this. If I drag the safety heading from here up a couple, you can see that it reorganized the document as well. Because when you start working with styles, a whole chunk of other features that makes Word useful to use and makes Word easy for us to use and makes it easier for us to create our thesis, a whole bunch of other automatic features all start working. The navigation pane based on styles. When we want to create a table of contents at the end of the writing process, if you've been using styles, your table of contents is going to be created automatically. We'll show you that perhaps next week. Lots and lots and lots and lots of other features. Automatic numbering I've showed you already. The styles can be edited at any point. You can make those styles look like whatever you want them to. So yeah, the thing to take away from this video, if you're writing a thesis, if you're not using styles to format your text, you're working way too hard. You're not getting advantage of all the best features within Microsoft Word. So please, for the love of all that's good, start using styles today.